Yo, yo.
Yo. What is the word? It's your boy Kha.Reality back with another one. We gonna get straight into the content for y'all today. This is Nushawn Williams, a HIV positive sex offender who is admitted to having unprotected sex with as many as 300 young women and girls, who has infected at least 13 of them. In 1997, under a granted exception of the state of New York HIV confidentiality law, public authorities released his name and picture to the media, deeming him as a public health threat and the source of a near epidemic of HIV transmission. In 1998, he pleaded guilty to charges of statutory and reckless endangerment and has since been in jail ever since. On April 13, 2010, Williams' criminal sentence ended. Authorities successfully moved to keep Williams in the jail under 3-year-old civil law that allows extended confinement when one is deemed likely to offend again. Williams, whose family had been awaiting his release, remains in custody. His trial is tentatively set for October. Through his lawyer, will argue the extended confinement motion in late June. Y'all, this is Nushawn Williams, the guy that single-handedly almost started an epidemic in Brooklyn and upstate New York. Yeah, when you was growing up, you always heard people stay away from girls from Albany projects. And that's because of this dude. Yeah, this dude right here. He's still locked up in Marcy. You know, his sentence ended, and then they kept him confined, due to a law that states that you could be held because of psychiatric cases. In 1999, Nushawn Williams pleaded guilty, arising from allegations when he was 20 years old. He had sex with several young women while knowing he was HIV positive. The decision of civil confinement, Nushawn, was based in a large part of inaccurate medical and scientific information. This directly conflicts with New York law, which states civil confinement proceedings under Law Article 10 should be based on the most accurate scientific understanding available. The state prosecutor used HIV bias and false beliefs about HIV to make the case that Nushawn is a dangerous sex offender. That is what they argue for him. But if you know Nushawn Williams, if you from Brooklyn, New York, you knew that this guy, he was one of them ones who, he grew up in the crack era, crack epidemic and all that, and he eventually started using. They say he was selling crack. He was the homie. Yeah, this dude right here, and he's calling for his freedom. He's trying to be released. But even his own family said that he was willingly doing it. He felt he had nothing to live for. Let's go more to the content.
Will make his case for freedom in a new trial. Nushawn Williams completed a 12-year prison sentence last month, but the state attorney general's office wants to keep him in custody indefinitely, calling him a threat to society. A judge ruled yesterday that Williams should stay locked up for now. The decision sparked an outburst from Williams' wife and family.
Are other people that's walking around with HIV, are they a threat? You're not questioning that. He is not a threat. And he don't need to be committed.
Williams infected at least 13 women with the virus that causes AIDS. A civil trial has now been set for November.
Infected dozens of young women with HIV. Nushawn Williams appeared in a New York City court for sentencing on drug charges that are unrelated to the AIDS scare that he sparked. ABC's John Miller tonight on his day in court and his years on the street.
Prison officials worried about death threats transported Nushawn Williams under heavy guard today. In court, Williams' sentencing for selling crack was postponed pending psychological evaluation. Meanwhile, prosecutors were looking at possibly charging Williams with knowingly passing along the AIDS virus to scores of women.
We have, I think, options that would likely be considered crimes like reckless endangerment, attempted assault, and perhaps attempted murder.
This fight to go free. News 4's Jerika Duncan joins us from State Supreme Court with the latest. Jerika.
He made national headlines as the HIV predator. Now Nushawn Williams is hoping to make some progress in court today. He's fighting for his freedom even after completing his prison sentence. Today, Nushawn Williams will appear in State Supreme Court for a preliminary hearing on whether to put the 33-year-old in a psychiatric facility.
My contact with Nushawn today indicated to me that he wasn't.
See, even though this was a couple years ago, The community of Brooklyn is still dealing with this. You know, Albany Projects, it has this stigma around it that, you know, don't mess with girls from Albany Projects because it's a lot of HIV positive people there. And that's because of this man. He intentionally had sex with 300 women, and we only know about 13 of the girls that was from upstate, probably because of their skin color. We're not going to say that. But, you know, I guess with the black community, people don't want to sit there and come forward and talk about their life and talk about certain things. But one of his family members said this: "We stand by him till we die. That is our family. The parents of them girls should have taught them to keep their legs closed or use condoms." JoJo's great aunt said the week have been traumatic for everyone. If my great nephew did something wrong, he has to pay the price. But we're not gutter people. We grew up in church. If he gave that virus to somebody, it hurts. But he got it from somebody. Those are harsh words from a woman. You know what I mean? It's just crazy because I just want people to know, you know, stay alert. You know what I mean? Stay alert because a guy like this, man, is dangerous. And don't just think this is going on back in the days. It's going on today. Yeah, this is going on today. This is what I want y'all to know, you heard? This guy right here didn't care. He was getting money, you know what I mean? And girls fell victim. Now you got the guys that's the scammers and all that, and they might be sick, and you might not never know. Always protect yourself, man, because guys like this is around. This guy even got supporters. Look at this. Support Nushan. He did his time. This is a woman from Davina. She's from across the country. You know, I'm not going to say the state that she's from, but she's sitting there fighting for Nushan's freedom. Do Nushan deserve his freedom after knowingly spreading the virus to 13 confirmed cases and having unprotected sex with 300 women and girls out of Brooklyn, New York? Does he? I want y'all to talk about it. You know what I mean? I want y'all to talk about it. He discovered when he met a girl from Albany Houses Projects in Brooklyn. His partner never used to small-time dealing was Brian Jones, whom William had met in the old crack house. You know what I mean? This was a hard time back in New York. And I just want to say, you know what I mean? Like I said again, man, y'all need to protect yourself, be safe, and stay tuned stay wary of guys like this, man. Because this guy knew what he was doing, man. You know what I mean? But I just wanted to give some content, you know, shed some light on some stuff that, you know, we ain't been seeing in a long time. We ain't been hearing about this case. And I grew up always hearing about Albany Projects, females from Crown Heights. And I never knew who the guy was. But now they saying he fighting for his freedom, you heard? So he fighting for his freedom. I just want to know, like, do he deserve his freedom? Y'all let me know, you heard? Nushan Williams, yeah. He intentionally, he knowingly, and this is what he did. And now they got him hospitalized in Marcy, you heard? He done did documentaries. I think he wrote a book, everything, you heard?
Behind bars for knowingly spreading the deadly virus that causes AIDS to more than a dozen women, some of them from Jamestown.
We actually have had 2 young children born with HIV because of Nushan Williams, and people who do that kind of behavior need to pay the penalties.
The state attorney general's office claims Williams told an inmate he would spread the virus again. And the AG's office says Williams presents multiple risk factors, including a psychopathic condition and attitudes that support sexual offending.
I don't see the state spending thousands of dollars a year to keep him in for something that he's not going to do any harm with.
According to a Buffalo News article, Williams wrote the paper apologizing for his actions, admitting he put his sexual partners at risk. I was very ignorant, young, and naive, says Williams, who went on to say he brought shame not only to his family, but the whole human race. That preliminary hearing is scheduled for 2 o'clock this afternoon. Stay with News 4 at 5 and 6.
Yeah. After what, more than 25 years, he's still fighting for his freedom. And some people think he shouldn't get it, man. What do y'all think? Put it in the comment section. Yeah, Nushan Williams, man. Put it in the comment section. He got supporters. He got people fighting for his freedom. But this is the guy who single-handedly changed Brooklyn. This is the guy who single-handedly woke us up to sex education in New York City. Because people ain't really know what was going on. They know about the AIDS epidemic coming in the 80s and all that. And they always just thought it was among, homosexual men. You know, being heterosexual people, they thought it was slim to chances. But when you got guys like this running around, man, it's hard to be safe. You know what I mean? It's hard to be safe. So I just wanted to talk on that, touch on that. Y'all tell me what y'all think about the video. Hit the like button, share button, subscribe button. He's still being housed in Albany in Marcy Correctional Facility to this day. You heard? To this day, he's still being housed in Marcy Correctional Facility. So let me know what y'all think. Do he deserve his freedom? Do he deserve a second chance at life? Do he deserve it? Let me know, y'all. Shout out to the 05 Voter Movement. Salute.
To Frankie, and what influence did that have on your father?
A transit authority cop stops him. He pulls out the gun and kills the cop.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Did Gravano tell you how he became a rat?
You would never call him that to his face.